Okay, today I'm wearing a dress, and I'm going to be wearing a dress for the next week or so because I got a tattoo on my leg and I don't want to mess with jeans right now. I got the tattoo on Saturday. It's of my dog that I had for 17 years, starting from the age of 12, because I wanted to be a dog trainer. So I got a tattoo to commemorate her. She passed away 3 years ago. So yeah, it's the cutest little tattoo. I love it so much. Okay, let's do a little bit of a story time. I have one other tattoo on my leg. It is of Ramona Flowers from Scott Pilgrim, and I forgot that when I get tattoos on my leg twitches like crazy, like just jerk reaction trying to get away from the tattoo gun. And I decided, let's get another tattoo on my calf. Oh my god. It was such a mistake. I spent the whole time trying to hold my leg down so it would stop twitching. I don't know if other people have this problem or if it's just me, but it's so goddamn annoying. And it's not even that painful. It's just annoying. And yeah, I managed to get through it, and now I have a pretty dog on my leg. Okay, let's talk about what I'm reading. The first book that I'm reading is Red Queen by Christina Henry. This is the second book in the Alice series. I read the first one last week and it was just messed up. It was basically any trigger warning that you had to look up in order to read that book. This one is a little bit less of a messed up Alice in Wonderland. It's still, this one is actually a little more whimsical than the other one was. This one has more like queens turning people into things and stuff like that. It doesn't have the brutality that the first one did. At least it doesn't so far. That could change completely. I don't actually know. The other book I'm reading is Significant Others by Zoe Eisenburg. This is a story about two best friends who live together, have adopted a dog together, and now one of them is pregnant and they're planning on raising the child together. I assume they have issues raising a child together, but it's a little bit relatable because I live with my best friend and we've adopted two cats together. So I'm interested to see where this one goes. There's a cat right here. I'm concerned she's gonna come over and knock this over. Hi, Cooper. Yeah? I was wearing this dress today and I realized how low cut it was, and so I put a shirt underneath it, and now I feel like I got dress coded at school. I bought some new books because of course I did. I have this thing where I like to get out of the house because I work from home half the time. Half my shift, and so I feel the need to get out and do something, and so I end up at Barnes & Noble all the time, and I end up buying books all the time, and I don't read them, but you know what, there's worse things to spend your money on. The first one is What You Are Looking For Is in This Library. It gives Before the Coffee Gets Cold vibes, where this librarian is able to give you the perfect recommendation for whatever you're currently needing. And then I also bought Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. I feel like I'm the last person to read this book because every booktuber I watched read this last year, and I am just late to the game. But look how pretty this edition is. I know some people hate these kind of edges, but I think they're pretty. Yeah. I finished this book series. I finished this one a couple of weeks ago, and then I just finished Red Queen. And for how brutal this first book was, I'm really surprised how tame the second one was. Because the first one, basically, any trigger that you have was in this book. Like, the brutality against women was just everywhere in this book. And this one, there was still a lot of messed up stuff in it, but I feel like it was a lot tamer. It was more like a fairy tale than the other one was. I think the only problem I had with this book is that the first one is centered around Alice and Hatcher, who is the man that she is traveling with, and they basically are on this road of revenge that they go through and basically murder everybody in their path. And in the second book, the man is not really present, and so I think they wanted to show that Alice was capable of doing things on her own. But in the meantime, I was missing that connection that she had with that character. But apart from that, it was a pretty good book. It was still very fast-paced. And, yeah. Hi, kitty cat. Oh! There she is. She's showing me her tummy. You want tummy pets? Don't rub your face on my book. I went to 2 bookstores over the weekend because of course I did, and I ended up getting 2 books. The first shop I went to was the King's English bookstore, which is in Sugar House, and it's just this adorable bookshop that's just surrounded by stores with like gelato and bakeries and things like that. So it's just very nice, and it's just in this neighborhood full of really fancy brick houses, and it's just so pretty. I got the book really good actually, and it is about a surprisingly young divorcee TM is how they describe it on the back of the book. She's 29 years old, and it's about her journey of trying to get back out into the world and trying to deal with being divorced and what that means for her. It's a little surprising for me because I live in Utah. People get married very young in Utah, and so to me, a surprisingly young divorcee is someone who's in their early 20s. It's just kind of how it is. It's the culture of the place. And so it's still a really good book. I'm on page 95, but anytime she mentions how young she is and being divorced, it just makes me laugh a little bit. I also went to Barnes & Noble. In Sugar House, there is a Barnes & Noble that's 2 stories. It's the biggest Barnes & Noble in Utah, and so I love going there. And I got the book Dear Wendy. This actually just came out recently, and I've been waiting for it. It's about two Arrow Ace girls in college who have a rivalry over 2 advice columns that they both have. And yeah, I'm not sure where it goes after that. I haven't started this book yet, but I'm all about any Arrow Ace representation in books, and it's kind of rare to find. So to find 2 characters that are both Ace, I'm so excited for it. I'm halfway through reading Significant Others. I think this book was a little misleading in how it was described, or at least what I took from it and what I thought this book was going to be about. I figured this would be a book about 2 best friends coming together to raise a child because they were so close. They bought a dog together. They've lived together since college, and I thought that this was just going to be a nice story about how they struggle with raising a child and that kind of thing. But it's actually more about a little bit more of a love triangle. It's kind of started off that way because in the very beginning, the man who gets this girl pregnant was originally flirting with the other girl. There's also a lot of conflict between the 2 best friends. It seemed like there was less time to get to know them as best friends before the conflict started in immediately. Like, the book starts out with one friend going to the other's workplace, which is a bar, and not wanting to go there, and then immediately them getting mad at each other. And I feel like a lot of the time they're saying things like, oh, I would never not tell my best friend something. This is the first time I've ever kept that secret. And I feel like it's like the 4th time they've said that in the book. So I'm not entirely convinced of their friendship. The moments that they do have together when they're getting along is really sweet and nice, and it's nice to see, but it also doesn't happen that often. So I'm hoping, I've heard the ending of this book is something that people don't like. People don't like the ending very much. So I'm not really holding out hope that I'm going to like this book, but I guess we'll see what happens. I want to take a second and appreciate the outfit I'm wearing today. I don't know why. I just feel like it. Oh, as I run into the book cart, we got this cool skirt and this yellow jacket shirt, because who doesn't love a good cannibal? And then we've got these cool heels. Oh, hold on. Oh, goodness. Well, I'm here. Let's talk about what's going on in Utah recently. The independent bookstores are getting together in Utah and are doing a map. And it is a map of all of the participating indie bookstores. And if you go to all of them in a year, if you're the first 3 people to do it, you get a shit ton of gift cards, which is pretty cool. I'm probably not going to try and do it that quickly, but I think I'm going to give it a shot. There's 30 bookstores that you have to go to, even though I recently went to 4 of them. I guess we're going to be stopping by and going there again. Sorry, the lighting is so terrible. There's currently a thunderstorm happening. It's so loud that my cat is currently hiding in the closet. So I finished Significant Others by Zoe Eisenburg, and I think I liked it less and less as the book went on. The ending, I didn't like. Just at all. I don't want to get into any spoilers or anything, but I was not convinced that these 2 people were friends by the end of it. I'm told that they had 20 years worth of friendship under their belt, but at the same time, they were constantly fighting. They never told each other anything. And I feel like I was never there were moments of their friendship, but I feel like I was never really shown it. So I gave this book 2 stars. I was not a big fan. Yeah.